Okay, so am I part of the training?
Yeah, okay. So I'm starting the Pano training. This is a little bit rough because it's in a fancy recording studio. But first of all, I'm going to show you what a Pano looks like. So you can see, and this is my friend John here. Say hi.
Hello.
So you can see this black box right here in your classroom. That'll be the Pano device. You might not actually visibly see it depending on where it is in the media array that's inside your classroom. If you wanted to know what it was, that's what it looks like. It's just a black box. So you should find in your classroom also a wireless mouse that's clearly labeled for Pano use. That wireless mouse is connected to that box there and will allow you to use some of the functionality of Pano that I'm going to show you in just a minute. So I would say first thing, when you go into your classroom, see if you can find that mouse, which should be tucked into the media cabinet. If you don't find it, let us know, because in different classrooms it ended up in different places. So first of all, what Pano is it allows you to be able to do untethered connection to the projector in your classroom. And by untethered projection, I mean you might connect with your phone, your iPad, I've got one of each here, or from your laptop. I'm talking on my laptop or recording on my laptop, so you can't see that, but that device is sitting here as well. It's platform agnostic, so it allows you to connect from an Apple device or from a PC computer. Unlike the Apple TV, which is only specific to devices that are part of that ecosystem. So first of all, when you're trying to connect, if you have used an Apple TV, it'll feel a little bit like that. So I'll show you first on my iPad, and I'm going to just turn it around so you can see what I'm doing. I just worked with Jen Osborne, who's going to be using an iPad. So it may be that most of you are planning to do that. So here's my iPad right here. And I do the swipe up motion with my iPad, which when I swipe up, it brings up the option for AirPlay mirroring, which is right here. I'm going to click that AirPlay mirroring, and then I'll see the Tech Hub Pano. I'm in the Tech Hub right now. You should see your room name, Pano, pull up in the devices. If you're in a building like Beckman, you're going to see a lot of devices, and many of them are going to be Apple TVs. So you want to connect to the one that says Pano, your room number, and Pano. There may be a really long list in some of the buildings with lots of classrooms. One way to ensure that you're going to see the Pano is to make sure that you've got your Bluetooth turned on your device. And that will help your device to know to connect to the Pano that's closest to it. So, okay, I'm going to select Tech Hub Pano. And then what happens is it says, a box pops up and it says, what's your AirPlay code? Now, this is where it gets tricky. If you look at my screen that I'm displaying on right here, at the top of that screen right here, there's a code that's displayed. In this case, the code is four number. So it's 1683. So I'm going to enter that into the box on my iPad and click OK. Then I need to wait for a moment. In this case, it happened very quickly. And you can see on my display, here's my iPad right here, right? Then you can see on the display is mirroring exactly what's on my iPad. And with an iPad or iPhone, let's see, just take that off. It typically will keep the landscape, or if you have it up and down, or if you have it side to side, it will mirror that. I think to be able to fill the screen, you're going to want to have it the long way with your iPad or your iPhone. So that's essentially what you need to get started. If you want to take your device off, you would swipe up and you can stop the mirroring, just like we did to show you how to connect it. All right, so let's talk. If you have an iPhone, you're going to do the same thing. If you have a laptop and it's a Mac laptop, what you're going to do is there's a little icon that is up in your upper right corner that looks like a little screen, and you'll have a drop down of options from that screen to be able to select the Pano device. If you're on a PC, you can right click from your desktop to be able to connect to the Miracast functionality, which is built into Windows 10 PC or laptop devices. So if you have a question about your device and how it will connect, and you actually want to use your thing, then I would say come into the Tech Hub, schedule an appointment with me, and we can use your device to connect and make sure you feel 100% confident with your thing going up there. So I just realized because I was recording, I got distracted and I closed my iPad. So I'm going to reconnect with my iPad to the Pano. Get it mirroring again. The code in. Okay. So I'm going to turn this on for a second because I want to be able to show you some things. Or I'm going to move it here behind me so you can see what's going on the screen. So you see there's my iPad on the screen, which I can turn either direction. And say, for example, I was doing a presentation and I wanted to annotate something. Maybe I was showing slides using slideware on my iPad, and I wanted to annotate that. What you can do is take that mouse. I unfortunately don't have a wireless one here. I'm connected, but you'll take your wireless mouse to this screen, and there are pen tools on the side of your screen that will come with the Pano device, and you can annotate using those tools. So the top one allows you to just do pen markings. It's not going to be fine-grained enough to write words, but you can circle things or emphasize things if you want to. To undo what you did, there's an arrow, kind of circular arrow, and you can undo your last thing this way. From this pen tool, you have thick and thin options you can choose. I'll choose the thick one because then I think it's going to show up better and I really want to be dramatic. And then if I want to undo that, I can hit my undo button. One thing that you may want to do rather than having that persistent marking that appears on the screen is you can do something with, there's like a pen fade tool. You know, I just, sorry, my iPad went to sleep. It's the second one down, and if you circle something with that tool, you wait a moment, it's actually going to fade away. And that's good if you want to have momentary emphasis on something, but you don't necessarily want to stick on the screen and have to erase it or revert it back. So for example, if you were showing slides and going one to the other, then you might want to use that fade tool because you're emphasizing something on the slide right now, but in 30 seconds you're going to go to the next slide. If you used just the regular pen tool, it would keep staying on your slides until you erased it. So this one that fades out could be advantageous depending on what you're trying to do. And my iPad keeps going to sleep. A little bit annoying. So hang with me for a second while I wake it back up. Okay. So the next tool down below that is an eraser tool. So if I had, with my iPad, if I had marked something and I wanted to just erase, if I want to take it totally away, I can hit that one. If I had marked something and I wanted to erase it instead, then I would use that third tool. You can erase. Or maybe you marked two things and you wanted to erase just one, you can do that. And I just lost my iPad again. So I'm going to go ahead and log back in. So, and also while I'm lagging here, but I'll actually connect with more than one device. You can see in my, there's a 3-bar menu right here, a 3-bar option that you can click, and it will show me all the devices that are connected to my Pano right then. You can see that my laptop that I'm recording with is actually connected at the moment. You can see here's my iPad that's connected, and I'm also going to connect with my phone. So you can see what it's like if you have multiple students who may be connecting to the content. They can project, you can have multiple screens going out once, and it sort of splits the screen like this. Like you can see, my phone's on the top, my iPad's here, and my desktop is, oh, this is actually, never mind, it's static image. That's a screenshot from my desktop I took earlier. If I had desktop, it would be appearing here. So with this, you can, say you have students who want to mirror content, You can toggle between that content. If I select that item, it gives me the option to release it, delete it, so that device is no longer connected, or I can make it the primary view through the display, through expanding the display. So that's one thing that's really helpful with the mouse. Say you are having students project group work and you have them all connect. You can take the mouse to toggle between each group if that was what you wanted to do. And then one more thing I'm going to show you right now that you'll have to think about what the use case might be for this. Say I'm going to make my phone my big one. Say I was doing something with students and I had been writing on the screen and I wanted to save it. You have this little camera option right here. If I do that, it'll take a snapshot and add it to this display down here, and that way I can go back and select that snapshot later if I wanted to refer back to something that we've done before. I was testing this earlier, and we had like 8 different snapshots saved down there. I don't know how many one can save. I haven't pushed the limits of it yet, but you might think about if that's functionality you might want to use if you want to return back to an earlier thing rather than going back to the slide. Maybe it's something that happened in the class that was, you were circling and you wanted to save that. You could save that here and go back to it. So those are the basic functions. You've got how to connect, you've got your pen tools, you've got how to toggle between the different devices, and how to take an image of what's happening on the screen. And those are the basics. If you have any questions, come in and try it for yourself. The Tech Hub is open during business hours. If you want to make sure when you come to the Tech Hub, there's someone here who can help you with Pano, it's best to make an appointment. But we're all learning it right now, and certainly if whatever staff member is here is going to help you as much as they can. So that's much for you.